And this is obviously for you, my beautiful granddaughter, and all the people of your generation and your parents' generation, which are going to live a great life and live this beautiful planet in a good condition for the rest of generations to come. I'm going to, from time to time, read a few lines from Walden, Thoreau's Walden. I came across it looking at an anthology. He had quoted one of my favorite poets, Saadi. As a matter of fact, it was Saadi's poetry, or I should say the introduction to his work Golistan, Rose Garden, that I memorized for extra points when I was in the 11th grade. And that was probably the first time that I said, wow, is this what literature can do? And I was lucky that one day I came across Thoreau's work, Walden. Just seeing the name of Saadi, that prompted me to read more about him. So from time to time, I will read a couple of lines from Walden, which I think you and your generation should pay attention to closely, and then a couple of lines or a line from Saadi, so you brush up on your Persian and Persian poetry. If a person looks at Walden wisely, I think it's probably closest work in English to Golistan. And so we'll just gradually read a few lines, benefit from both, and take our time and reflect on it. And enjoy the beautiful nature outdoors and keep this planet beautiful. Okay, I'll read from the beginning of Walden. When I wrote the following pages, or rather the bulk of them, I lived alone in the woods, a mile from any neighbor, in a house which I had built myself on the shore of Walden Pond. And he goes on to say, I should not obtrude my affairs so much on the notice of my readers if very particular inquiries had not been made by my townsmen concerning my mode of life, which some would call impertinent, though they do not appear to me at all impertinent, but considering the circumstances, very natural and pertinent. Some have asked what I got to eat, if I did not feel lonesome, if I was not afraid, and the likes. Others have been curious to learn what portion of my income I devoted to charitable purposes, and some who have large families, how many poor children I maintained. The beginning of this work, it's almost reflective of the beginning of Golistan, where a friend asks him, what have you done? What have you reflected on? What are you going to leave behind? And somewhere in the introduction, he says these two beautiful verses that I think probably captures a prayer to the Almighty Parvardigar and this great blessing, this planet Earth that has been given to us as a beautiful, beautiful cradle and a beautiful place for us to live and flourish. And he says, ابر و باد و مه و خورشید و فلک در کارند تا تو نانی به کف آری و به غفلت نخوری. همه از بهر تو سرگشته و فرمان بردار، شرط انصاف نباشد که تو فرمان نبری. ابر is cloud, باد is wind, مه is moon, خورشید is the sun, فلک در کارند. All these things, the nature, the cycle of seasons, this world, are at work so you can earn your bread, your sustenance, and not be unthankful. Anyways, I will write some of these Persian verses down for you every once in a while, but make sure you pay good attention to Walden. I think he's got many wise things to say about how we should possibly live, or at least how we should look at our lifestyles if we care about the future of life on this planet, and if we care about the rest of sentient beings, and if we care about generations to come.